Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I'm Kelly Stewart, joined by Tony Finn at WagerTalk and Bryan Leonard at Leonard Sports. Both these guys, give them a follow on Twitter for all things baseball, and that's what we're talking about today. The National League season win totals. Tony's giving you guys a secret little hint over here on who he already bet. Kind of defeats the purpose there, Tony. And the other video ran a little bit long because we kind of talked about the processes and how both of these guys handicap this. I'm going to let them give you the short version, but if you're looking for the long version, head over to our American League video. Bryan, I'll start with you. Kind of give me a quick process on how you assess season win totals. And I know you have 7?
I've got 7 for the National League.
7 in the National League.
So if you want to learn how I do it, just go to the American League. It's a shorter video. I only had 2 there. But one of the that I'm looking at is the Atlanta Braves to go under. And the Braves, one of the things we didn't discuss in the first video is a lot of times you have certain teams where they have guys that have career years. Atlanta Braves had guys that had career years last year. And my base runs show that they should have won 92 games last year. They were plus 11 in one-run games, plus 3 in extra inning games. I have them win 81.8. And right now you can get them under 85.5.
So they're a little overvalued because of what happened last year.
What happened last year. Then this is the one that I could be really off on because their minor leagues are so good. They've got so many good young pitchers in there. They just don't have spots on the major league roster. If these guys come up as the season goes on and they perform well, I'll lose this game. But right now we're looking at a 3.7 differential. That's enough for a bet for me.
Okay. Tony, I know you got 1. But I got to kind of divide this up a little bit. So give me kind of your process here and what you're looking for in terms of your season win bets.
Well, as we discussed in the American League video, and that is much of it goes to depends on the division, depends on the team, but much of the weight goes to the other 4 teams in the division and the value I've put on them and the season win totals I've put on them compared to the books. But a big part of the assessment I make is done on sabermetrics analytics. It's done on luck factor, as
so
Bryan discussed.
you take out luck out of your factor, but
I'm trying to take out luck. Yes.
But okay, explain to me how you quantify luck.
Well, just to make it short, as we discussed in the other video, that's on base average, whether it's the expected and the actual weighted on base average. To give you an example, everyone might know Machado, for instance, had a weighted on base average, I think, of about 325 a year ago. His expected, which is dependent on the quality of his contact, was actually 355 or 360. I do that with every player, with every pitcher, and I've been working on it for 3 months. I'm about reducing team previews, and so that's where you either you're correcting to having more luck or having less luck. And then it goes into assessing team win totals as well. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to get back to you on your season win total, Bryan. I know you still have 6 left, so give me your next 3 before we go back to Tony.
I've got Colorado under. Last year, base runs, they were at 85. And I use base runs, but it's very similar. Joe Pita had a great book a few years ago, Trading Bases. He called it cluster luck. Base runs is very similar to cluster luck. Try to take away some of the randomness and get correct numbers. But I have 85 would have been the number for Colorado last year, but they were plus 11 in one-run games and minus 2 in extra inning games. I've got Colorado at 79.9, and right now I can get under 84.5, so I'm getting 4.6 games of advantage. So we've got Colorado under. That's probably going to be a lot of people against me on that, so I might even get better numbers because I've heard a lot of people like Colorado. My other one, and I think this is going to be pretty unanimous from everybody who studies the games, is I've got the Milwaukee Brewers under, and it's too bad because it's nice to see teams in there that aren't usually in there, so I root for those kind of underdogs. But last year, Milwaukee was a 92-win team for base runs. They were plus 14 in one-run games, broke even in the extra inning games. Talent-wise, I've got them at 80.0, and right now we're at 86.5. So that's my biggest discrepancy as of right now, 6.5 games.
Wow, that's a huge one. That one's getting a big circle. Okay, one more from you, and then I'll go to Tony.
Okay, this one also will be frowned upon by a lot of people, and that's I like the Philadelphia Phillies to go under.
This is what everybody keeps asking me. So I have a bunch of friends that live in Philly, and they can't wait to bet the season win total over now that they got Harper. And I'm going, you guys should have already been on the bandwagon. If it's already your team, you should have bet it even before.
That's right, especially when it was down to them and just another team. But Philadelphia, I've got them. Last year, they should have won 79 games. They were +5 in one-run games, -1 in extra inning games. From a talent standpoint, now it isn't big. I've got them at 87.2. And currently you can get them under 89.5, which is 2.3. But I think that, as you were pointed out, a lot of people right now are really high on the Phillies. It's a tremendous lineup, but I'm not a big believer in their pitching staff. They got a couple really good pitchers, but then they've got some other guys that just haven't proven it yet.
They're going to come in the 8th inning and blow my 6-run lead.
Yeah, well,
I've seen that too many times.
Which is what they've done many times. Yes.
All right, Tony. The big giveaway. Who did you bet?
Well,
Season
first off,
total?
this is just a prop.
Oh, you're faking me out?
I have one for every team. We'll just change it up. Depends on the video. I like the Mets this year. A healthy Mets team with a new general manager, aggressive, very aggressive general manager. They made some what some people consider blockbuster deals, getting Cano and Diaz from Seattle. They signed Familia. Their three soft spots last year really were infield depth because of injuries. A bullpen that had a 5.0 ERA and gave up more home runs than Carter has pills. They had a Cy Young winner who had if you look at his underlying numbers, they're staggering. They're absolutely staggering, DeGrom's numbers. Won a Cy Young. I think he won 10 games on the season and won a Cy Young based on the quality of his performances. You take a team who's improved their offense, a pitching staff that's a perfect fit in Citi Field, a division that has an overrated Phillies team, I think, and a Nats team where that ship has sailed. It's sailed. They keep putting this team on top of this division. It has sailed. They're starting the bottom of their rotation with Hellickson and now it's escaping me. I could look at my notes here. Anibal Sanchez. Scherzer is on the backside of his career. Let's put it this way. 86.5 wins. The Mets won 77 games last year with an ERA that had a 5.0 and gave up 80-some home runs. I don't even know the number. It's just ridiculous. They improved 10 games this year if they stay healthy.
How tough is that normally for a team to do, to improve 10 games on the next season?
Depends on whether they win 108 games. It's tough to win 118.
That's very true. All right, and here we go. All right, Brian, give me your last three.
All right.
On that
note, I'm really excited.
Tony
for my
the
last
smart
one now.
ass, I love it.
All right, well, I've got the Cincinnati Reds to go over. Last year, they were a 70-win team for base runs. They were -19 in one-run games, -6 in extra inning games. I've got it from a talent standpoint, a WAR standpoint of 82.0, and right now the number's at 79.5, so you're getting a 2.5-point advantage, win advantage on Cincinnati. Another team that right now isn't very popular because of Kershaw's injury. I like the Dodgers over. The Dodgers last year were a 101-win team from base runs. They had 0 they broke completely even in one-run games, and they were only +3 in extra inning games. So this was just the opposite of some of these other games we're talking about, where teams were very lucky in one-run games. The Dodgers were basically broke even. I've got LA from a talent standpoint at 95.5, and it's at 93.5. It's big. It's only a 2-game advantage, but this is a team that nobody's getting any credit for right now, and Kershaw's having some injuries, so a lot of people are betting under on the Dodgers. This is one of them I'm going to wait on. And my final one, and Tony's going to be very happy to hear this, the Washington Nationals over the total.
Oh, no.
I've got them last year. They were an 89-win team based on base runs, -6 in one-run games, -5 in extra inning games. I've got them winning 91.9. It's currently over 88. That's 3.9 to the over. I like Washington. And the guys he doesn't like.
And the public perception, though.
Public perception is lower without Bryce Harper. And but you take a look at them as overall, they've got young guys that are playing much more this year than they will play last year. And the guys that he talked about were guys who found another pitch. When you discover another pitch, that changes your entire pitching repertoire. And they've been able to get these guys at the end of the rotations. There's been a lot of teams that have got these guys that they were on this crap pile, and then all of a sudden, oh, they've got another pitch added. Go from 3 to 4, and then all of a sudden they're a much better pitcher. They don't throw the fastball that they don't have any longer. They've lost velocity on that, so that's what I'm looking for here with the
You
Washington
need another
Nationals.
pitch when your fastball is 89 miles an hour.
You don't throw it very often. You got to throw other pitches.
Great stuff, guys. $9 Monday at WagerTalk. Get all daily packages for Monday's action, plus early college basketball, NHL, and NBA priced at only $9. That includes any 5% best bets, normally priced at $30.